Good morning. So let's get started on a pre-run mobility session. I'm getting back to running, and so this is where I'm starting. Nice, easy mobility session. And the focus here is on dynamic stretching. And that means that even though we're stretching and mobilizing the muscles, we're not holding them static or still for long periods. This is a better form of stretching, and it feels good for me. The evidence behind stretching is that it's not going to help improve performance, but I know in this 43-year-old body that I will feel better if I do some mobility work. So you can follow along. We're starting with a roll down, and this is to stretch through the spine and the hamstrings. I always get tight behind my shoulders when I run, so part of this mobility session is going to include upper body movement. So onto all fours, and we're going to start with some hip mobility. So I'm lifting the leg out to the side and I'm coming in one direction, staying bent at the knee. Now what I want you to focus on here is keeping the lower back straight. Try not to engage any movement through the lower spine. We want to limit the movement specifically to the hip. We're going for 10 circles in one direction. If your wrists become tired, you can come onto the knuckles. And let's swap legs. Bringing the knee up through the center line and rotating around to the side. Now you'll notice here that my hips are not swinging from side to side. I'm staying static and I'm trying to scoop that leg through the full range of motion of the hip. Coming back to the initial side, and we're changing direction. Now there's a little bit more movement here. That's okay. I want you to engage in whatever movement feels good to you. You might find coming up and around like this that you're a little bit clicky. Just take note of it. You don't have to do anything about it. What we're aiming for here is control in the movement and smoothness of the movement. Now you might notice there, you see the crease in my t-shirt in my lower back? That's because there's more movement in my lower back in that position. Okay, firing up the glutes. Thumb is towards the ceiling. Let's get some mobility through the shoulder. Heel is towards the sky. We're squeezing through the bum muscles, keeping the leg straight. Thumb towards the ceiling, opposite side, opposite leg. Heel towards the sky, leg is straight. Try not to get too much movement through that lower back. Keep the back as straight as possible. Let's go again, this time out to the sides. So a little bit more of a dynamic movement, or a diagonal movement, I mean. So the heel is coming out to the side a little, arm is coming out to the side. So just engaging through the glutes at a slightly wider angle. So working into glute medius. You can hold it for 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, sitting back on the heels. I'm very tight in my quads or the fronts of my thighs. So again, we don't want a long, slow stretch here. We just want to get a little bit of movement in, and I'm turning my head from side to side because it just allows me to feather through some of the lateral elements of my quads. Coming back. Now we're going to do some work through the glutes here. So you see that I've staggered the feet here. Bless you, Fiona. Sneeze in the middle of everything. Okay, I'm turning my upper body towards that front leg. And see how I'm rocking from side to side here? Again, I'm not in a long, slow, static stretch. I'm rocking from side to side because this is actually feathering through the muscles in my glutes or my bum cheeks. So you're going to feel this up in the top portion of the hip. And you're going to feel it in the front leg, not likely in the back leg. So I'm rolling up and rolling down again, lengthening through the spine. Take a breath in as we roll up and exhale to roll back down. Inhale to roll up and exhale to roll back down. So this is what we mean when we say a dynamic stretch. There's movement in the stretch. And I love this sequence for lower back tightness. So if you've woken up in the morning and you feel your lower back is feeling a little bit tight, or before you go to bed, this is a lovely sequence to do because it's timed to your breathing. Let's swap sides. Rotating the upper body again. And I'm doing that wind down from side to side, onto the elbows if you like, rocking from side to side. And just do what feels good for you here. And again, rolling up and rolling back down. Inhale to roll up and exhale to roll back down. Okay, so working through the hip flexors now. I'm coming onto the elbows, but you can do this exercise sitting up if you like. It's a little bit harder sitting up. Keeping the legs straight, toes towards the sky, and I'm lifting that leg, circulating it out and back in. Now, if I was doing a full mobility session and I wasn't running, I would add in more of these and maybe turn my toes out and turn my toes in to get a full range through the hip flexors. But this is literally just a warm-up before my run. Firing up those hip flexors, telling them it's time to work, but I'm going to get some mobility into them now as well in a second. If this causes any discomfort, you can actually do that exercise lying flat as well, and it's a little bit easier the flatter you are. So the closer you are to 180 degrees, the easier it is. Back onto all fours. We're going to add in some pelvic tilts. Now, starting with these, you'll see the movement is tiny. I'm starting with the lower back. Inhale, tucking the tailbone under, isolating this movement to the lower back. Exhale, letting the belly drop and letting my bum tip. Inhale, lower back goes towards the sky, and I'm getting a little bit more movement through the spine. Exhale, a bigger arch in the lower back. Arching more. So you see, every time I do this, I'm engaging more of the spine. And actually, it's exhale as we pull the belly button up towards the sky. Inhale, letting everything drop down and relax. Looking up. Exhale, looking down, tucking the chin under. Inhale, lifting. So this is your typical cat-cow. And you might notice that I'm actually quite tight in the lower back and I'm more mobile in my thoracic spine. So a couple of rotations here, just from side to side. And now let's bring one foot forward. Oh no, actually, yeah, we're going to sit back on the heels. You're going to hate this one. Sitting back on the heels, we're going to do 3 deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Toes are tucked. Let's feel the soles of the feet. And we're going to go for 3 breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, let's come into a lunge position. The forward foot on the right side of the mat, backward foot on the left. Knee down lunge, and let's put the hands to the front and come into a runner's stretch. So again, we're coming back, the back leg here, we're stretching through the front of the hip. And again, I'm rotating from side to side here. You can see me rocking through this position. So I'm not looking for a long static stretch. I'm coming back to stretch the hamstring on the front leg or the back of the thigh on the front leg, rocking from side to side. Again, all I'm looking to do here is feel a stretch sensation through the muscle groups in the leg. Let's step the other foot forward and the other foot back, so swapping sides. And again, hands down. Let's get some of those rotations through and just move in a way that feels good for you here. Dipping into the stretch and releasing it again. And coming back. So that front leg is getting stretched at the back of the leg and dropping the shoulder down so we feel that stretch. And stepping that back leg forward again. Letting the upper body hang down. And let's roll back up to standing. Okay, we are ready to get started. Let's go.